The Middle East may have just crossed a dangerous new line. After weeks of escalating war between Iran, Israel, and the United States, something unprecedented has happened inside Iran's leadership. Iran has officially chosen a new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, the son of the late Iranian ruler Ali Khamenei. But this leadership change didn't happen during peace. It happened in the middle of a war. Just days earlier, Ali Khamenei was killed in a massive strike during the ongoing conflict between Iran, Israel, and the United States. Now his son has taken power. Bombed, and world leaders are warning the situation could spiral into something far bigger. So what exactly happened? Why did Iran choose Mojtaba Khamenei as the new supreme leader? And more importantly, what does this mean for the war that could reshape the entire Middle East? Let's break it down. To understand what's happening today, we need to go back just a few days. On February 28, 2026, a series of coordinated airstrikes hit multiple targets in Tehran, Iran's capital. These strikes were part of a broader military operation carried out by Israel with support from the United States. The targets were not just military bases. They were senior leaders of the Iranian regime. Among the casualties was the most powerful man in Iran, Ali Khamenei, the country's supreme leader. For more than 3 decades, Khamenei had been the ultimate authority in Iran. He controlled the military, he controlled nuclear policy, and he had the final say on all major decisions in the Islamic Republic. His sudden death created a massive power vacuum in the middle of a war. Immediately after the strike, Iran formed an interim leadership council to temporarily manage the government while the country searched for its next supreme leader. But the clock was ticking. Because the war wasn't slowing down, just days after the assassination, Iran's powerful clerical body known as the Assembly of Experts held a vote. This group of 88 senior clerics has the authority to choose Iran's supreme leader, and their decision shocked many observers. They selected Mojtaba Khamenei, the son of the man who had just been killed. At 56 years old, Mojtaba becomes the 3rd supreme leader in the history of the Islamic Republic. But this decision is controversial for several reasons. First, Iran has always insisted that its system is not a monarchy. Yet the leadership has now effectively passed from father to son, something critics say looks dangerously similar to dynastic rule. Second, Mojtaba Khamenei has never held a major public office. He has mostly operated behind the scenes. However, analysts say he has long had deep connections with Iran's most powerful military organization, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, often called the IRGC. These connections may explain how he secured enough support among Iran's power brokers during wartime. And the timing of this decision sends a clear message. Iran's leadership is signaling that the system will survive, even under direct military attack. But the leadership change isn't happening in isolation. It's happening during one of the most dangerous conflicts the Middle East has seen in years. Over the past weeks, the war between Iran and Israel has escalated rapidly. Airstrikes have hit Iranian military facilities. Missiles have been launched toward Israeli territory. And the conflict is now involving American forces as well. The United States has openly supported Israel's military operations against Iran. According to reports, the joint strikes targeted key infrastructure and military sites across the country. Meanwhile, Iran has responded with missile and drone attacks aimed at Israel and several locations across the Gulf region. The conflict has also spilled into one of the most important waterways on Earth, the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow passage carries a massive portion of the world's oil supply. Since the war began, shipping through the strait has been disrupted by military activity and threats from Iran's Revolutionary Guard. The result? Global oil prices have surged. Stock markets have reacted nervously, and governments around the world are watching the situation closely. Because if this conflict expands further, it could affect the entire global economy. The leadership change in Iran has also triggered strong reactions from Western leaders. U.S. President Donald Trump has publicly criticized the appointment of Mojtaba Khamenei. Trump reportedly described him as a lightweight, and warned that he might not last long without international acceptance. At the same time, Trump said any decision about ending the Escalates